Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 5 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 5 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find the list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter number 3. The lessons we're going to cover today are divisibility rules, greatest common factor, least common multiple, and then divisibility rules word problems. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I am on grade 5 math. The chapter we are on right now is number 3. Let's just start with the lesson that is divisibility rules. So divisibility rules is the very important lesson from the chapter. So please listen to me carefully and try to understand, right? So let's just start with the first example. Okay, the first thing we need to learn is what is divisibility rule? Why do we need the divisibility rules, right? So the divisibility rules are basically a test you have to apply on the numbers. Like the first example is 5112 divisible by 9? So basically you have to check if 5112 is divisible by 9. You don't have to divide actually, right? You just have to apply the test and you need to see if the number is divisible by 9 for every number, like divisible by 2, divisible by 3. For every number the divisibility rules are different, but they save your time. You don't have to divide, you just have to apply the test and you can see if they are divisible, yes or no, right? The numbers are 4 digit, 5 digit, very long. If you start dividing them, they will still take some time, right? But applying divisibility rules save your time, right? So let's just start with the first example, that is 5112 divisible by 9? So you don't have to divide. Let's just learn the divisibility rule for 9, right? The divisibility rule for 9 is you have to sum up all the digits of the number. For example, you, you have 5112, so just add 1 plus 1 plus 2, right? When you add them, they makes 9, right? And you have to check if the sum is divisible by 9. So the sum is 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, that makes 9, right? You have to check 9 divided by 9. Yes, it is 9 times 1 is 9. That means yes, 5112 is divisible by 9. Got it? 5112 is divisible by 9. See, you haven't divided. You just applied the test, right? Okay, just look at the other example. That is 427 divisible by 10? So you have to apply the divisibility rule test for 9, right? Sorry, 10. The divisible because you have to see if the number is divisible by 10, right? So the numbers are divisible by 10 if their ones digit is 0, right? The ones digit in 477 is 7. That is not 0. That means 477 is not divisible by 10. The divisibility rule for 10 is if the ones digit is 0, that means the number is divisible by 10. Got it? Okay, let's just start with the test questions. So you have to keep the divisibility rules for these numbers in your mind. They are very, very important. Now let's just start with the first example. That is 15,928 divisible by 9? So you have to see if 15,928 divisible by 9. So you have to apply the divisibility test for 9, right? So we just learned the divisibility test for 9. That is, you need to add all the digits of the number. That is 8 plus 2, 10 and 19 and 5, 15 and 1, 16. Now you have to see if the sum is divisible by 9. 16 is divisible by 9. No. 9 times no number is 16, right? So that means 15,928 is not divisible by 9. So 15,928 is not divisible by 9. The correct option is no. See, 15,928 is a 5-digit number, right? If you start dividing it by the 9, it will take 4 to 5 minutes at least, right? But you just did 2 steps and you know that this number is not divisible by 9. So the correct option is no. Got it? Is 4,890 divisible by 6? So which is the correct option? So you have to see if 4,890 is divisible by 6. So you need to learn the divisibility rule for 6, right? So let me just tell you the divisibility rule for 6. So the divisibility rule for 6 is if the number is divisible by 2 and the number is divisible by 3, that means the number is divisible by 6, right? Now we need to learn the divisibility rules for 2 and the divisibility rule for 3, right? So the divisibility rule for 2 is if the ones digit of the number is either 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, that means the number is divisible by that means the number is divisible by 2, right? So luckily you can see here the ones digit is 0, right? That means yes, the number is divisible by 2. Got it? Now you need to learn the divisibility rule for 3. So the divisibility rule for 3 is you need to add the digits, that is 9 and 8, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, And you have to see if the sum is divisible by 3. 21 is divisible by 3. Yes, 3 times 7 is 21. So number is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. That means then the number is divisible by 6. That means the number is divisible by 6 because the number is divisible by 2 and number is divisible by 3. So that means yes, the number is divisible by 6. Got it, everyone? If you have any question related to the lesson, you can please ask. That is very, very important lesson. So if you have any question, you can please ask. Got it? The correct option is yes. Is 957 divisible by 5? So which is the correct option? So the divisibility rule for 5 is you need to learn the divisibility rule for 5, right? So the divisibility rule for 5 is one digit must be 0 or 5, right? If the ones digit is 0 or 5, that means the number is divisible by. The correct option is no, the number is not divisible by 5, right? Because see, you can see the ones digit is neither 0 nor 5. So the correct option is no. Option number 2 is the correct option. Is 956 divisible by 2? So now let's just see. You need to apply the divisibility test for 2. So the divisibility test for 2 is if the number is divisible by 0, if the ones digit of the number is 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8, that means the number is divisible by 2. You can see the ones digit is 6, right? So that means yes, the number is divisible by 2. The correct option is yes. So basically, that is a very detailed lesson. If I start working on the divisibility rule, but we don't have such long time, so we can move on to the next lesson, right? So you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to the next lesson, right? So if you still need help with the lesson, you can contact any tutor. They are available through the live chat option. Through the live chat button, you can just simply contact any tutor through this live chat button, right? Let's just start with the next lesson. The next lesson is greatest common factor. Let's just start with the next lesson. What is the greatest common factor of 8 and 6? So we need to find the greatest common factor, right? So factor means the number that when you multiplied with any number makes 8 and 6, right? So basically factor, okay. So let's just start with the, okay, what is the greatest common factor of 8 and 6? You need to find the greatest common factor of 8 and 6, right? So list the factors of each number. Factors are the numbers when you multiply them they makes 8. For example, you can see here the factors of 8. 8 times 1 is 8. So 8 and 1 are the factor of 8. Then 2 times 4 is 8. So 2 and 4 are the factor of 8, right? Same way you need to list down the factor of 6. So you 6 times 1 is 6 and 2 times 3 is 6. These are the only factors for 8 and 6. You don't have more factors. The common means the greatest number that is common. 1 is common and 2 is common. The greatest number is 2. So that means the greatest common factor of 8 and 6 is 2. Got it? So the correct option is 2. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. What is the greatest common factor of 4 and 6? So you need to write down the factors of 4 and 6. Let me just tell you an easy way when you are given the options, right? You can see here 5 and you can see here 2, right? But 5 is not the greatest common factor is 2, right? Because 2 times 3 is 6 and 2 times 2 is 4, right? 5 times no number is 6 and 5 times no number is 4. So the correct option is 2 because 2 times 3 is 6 and 2 times 2 is 4. So the greatest common factor is 2. Got it? So the correct option is 2. What is the greatest common factor of 9 and 6? So which is the correct option? You have two numbers here, 6 and 3, right? So let's just make the factors of 9 and 6. The factors of 9 are, let's just write down the factors of 9. 1 times 9 is 9 and 3 times 3 is 9. You don't have any other factors of 9 than 1, 9 and 3, right? Now you need to write down the factors of 6. 1 times 6 is 6 and 2 times 3 is 6. So you can see here 1 is common and 3 is the common number. Common number means the number that is the factor of both the numbers, right? So the greatest number is 3, 1 is smaller, 3 is greater. So that means the greatest factor of 9 and 3 is 9 and 6 is 3. Got it? So the correct option is 3. No one is answering the questions I'm asking. You guys are just here to say hi, hello to each other, isn't it? What is the greatest common factor of 6 and 10? Which is the correct option? The correct option is 2. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? 2 times 3 is 6 and 2 times 5 is 10. So 2 is the greatest common factor. The correct option is 2. Okay, the next one is what is the greatest common factor of 10 and 8? So which is the correct option? So which is the correct option? That is the correct option is again 2. 2 times 4 is 8 and 2 times 5 is 10. So the greatest common factor is 2. Sorry. What is the greatest common factor of 8 and 6? So which is the correct option? That is again 2. The correct option is 2. Very good. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is that is least common multiple. Let's just start with the lesson. What is the least common multiples of 9 and 8? So you must learn the difference between the multiples and the factors, right? Multiples are the two numbers that when multiply make a new number, right? For example, 2 times 4 is 8. So 2 and 4 are the multiples of, sorry, 2 times 4 is 8. So 2 and 4 are the factors of 8. Got it? And multiples are the tables. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8. Like you multiply 2 with the new numbers, the numbers they make 8 is the multiple. 8 is the multiple of 2 and 4. 2 and 4 are the factors of 8, and 8 is the multiple of 2 and 4, right? So you need to write down the multiples because you need to find the least common multiple. Least common multiple is the smallest common multiple. So you can just write down the multiples of 8. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, and 72. Same way, write the multiples of 8. So you can see the smallest common number here is 72. So the correct option is 72. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Let's see how do we write down the multiples. What is the multiple of 9 and 8? That's the number we just that's the same example we just did, right? So let me just tell you an important thing about the numbers, right? For example, 9 and 8. You know that they don't have any common factors, right? 2 times 4 makes 8, but 2 times no number makes 8. They don't have no 9. They don't have any common factor, right? If they have the common factor, then that would be very easy, but they don't have any common factor. So you simply have to multiply them. That is 9 times 8. The correct option is 72. Got it? That is another way, the easier way. The correct option is 72. What is the greatest common factor of 6 and 8? Okay, now just look at the 6 and 8, right? They have a common factor. 2 times 3 makes 6 and 2 times 4 makes 8, right? They have a common factor, right? So when they have the common factor, you can write down their multiples. 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times 1 is 8, 2 is 16, 3 is 24. So their correct option is 24, right? They have more than one common multiples, but the least one, the smaller one is 24. If you continue the table, you can find more, right? 48 is common, right? So you have when they have the common factor, then that means they have more than common multiples, more than one common multiples. So the correct option in this case is 24. Okay, the next one is what is the least common multiple of 6 and 7? Okay, now 7 is a prime number, right? That means 7 has only two factors, 1 and 7 again. So 6 and 7 don't have any common factor. So when they don't have any common factor, you can simply multiply them. That's the only common multiple they have. So 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, so let's just move on to next one. That is 42. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is the least common multiple of 7 and 4? Again, 7 is a prime number. You don't have only two factors of you have only two factors of 7, that is 7 times 1 is 7, right? Basically 4 and 7 don't have any common factor. That means the only common multiple is 7 times 4, that is 28. So the correct option is 28. Got it? So the correct option is 28. The correct option is 22. Option number 2 is the correct option. 11 times 2 is 22. 11 is a prime number, so you simply have to multiply them. So their common multiple is, least common multiple is 22. What is the least common multiple? Forgot to click on the OK button. Okay. What is the least common multiple of 9 and 6? So 9 and 6, they do have a common factor, that is 3, right? So that means you need to write down their multiples. You can find they have more than one common multiple, but you need to write down the least one. 6 times 1 is 6, 2 is 12, 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times 5 is 30. Write down the factors of 9. 9 times 2 is 18, 9 times 3 is 27, 9 times 4 is 36. So their least common, sorry, multiple is 18. So the correct option is 18. They do have more than one common multiples, but the smallest one is 18. Got it, everyone? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Okay, the next lesson is divisibility rule, word problems. So they are the word problems related to divisibility rule. So let's just have a look on divisibility rules, right? Let me just start with an example. A new Cineplex will have 590 seats in all. Each theater must have the same number of seats. How many theaters could the Cineplex have, right? So basically, you have to see 590 is divisible by which number? 3, 6, 9, or 12? 9 or 10, right? 590 is divisible, completely divisible by the number that is the answer for this question. See, the first number is 3, so let's just apply the divisibility rule for 3. You need to add up all the digits, the sum is 14, but 14 is not divisible by 3, so that means the number is not divisible by 3. Now the divisibility rule for 6, because the second number is 6, right? So the number is not divisible by 3. That means the number is not divisible by 6, right? The third number is, I think, 9. You need to apply the divisibility rule for 9. Sum up all the digits. Their sum is not divisible by 9. So that means the number is not divisible by 9. 590 is divisible by 10 only, right? That means the Cineplex have 10 theaters because 590 is divisible by 10 only. Got it? So let's just start with the test questions. Molly is arranging the photographs for her school for her years for her high school yearbook. She needs to put the same number of photographs in each row with no photographs left over. If Molly has 663 photographs to arrange, how many photographs could she put in each row? Now you're given the numbers 9, 3, 5, and 2, right? So you need to apply the divisibility rule for these numbers, and you need to see 663 is divisible by which number, right? So let's just apply the divisibility rule for 9, right? You need to add the digits. 6 plus 6 is 12 and 3 15. 15 is divisible by 9? No. That means the number is not divisible by 9. So 9 is not the correct option. Now apply the divisibility rule for 3. The divisibility rule for 3 is you have to add the digits, that is 15, and 15 is divisible by 3. Yes, it is. 3 times 5 is 15. That means the correct option is 3. She can put 3 photographs on each row. So the correct option is 3 because 663 is divisible by 3. 663 is not divisible by 2 and neither by 5, right? So the correct option is 3. Got it? A soda company makes different flavor of soda. Last year the company produced the same number of bottles of each flavor. If the company produced 6,228 flavors bottles of soda in last year, how many different flavors could the company make? So which is the correct option? So you have to see 6,228 divisible by which number? 3, 5 or 10. So let's just apply the divisibility rule for 3. Just add up all the digits. 6 and 2, 8, 8 and 2, 10 and plus 8, 18. 18 is divisible by 3. 3 times 6 is 18. So the correct option is 3, right? The correct option is 3. Option number 1 is the correct option. There are 9,490 paper clips in the boxes in the supply cabinet. If each box contains the same number of paper clips, how many boxes could there B. So you need to see 9490 is divisible by which number? So 10 it is. The correct option is 10. 9490 is divisible by 10. So the correct option is 10. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 5 math. The chapter we were working on is number theory. The lessons we have covered today are divisibility rules, greatest common factor, least common multiple, and again the divisibility rules word problems, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on this live chat button there. Tutors are available there to help you. They are available during the shift timing, that is from Monday to Friday and between 9 to 5, right? Between 5 to 9, right? Or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5. So that's all for today. If you have any questions related to the lessons we have just finished, you can please ask question. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any, right? Any questions you can please ask. No questions. Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.